This is Monday, April 27th, 2026. This is your Board of Education for the Glendora Unified School District. We were in closed session. It's 6:05, so we're opening up. We're reconvening from closed session where, believe it or not, we have reportable action tonight. So there's two things that the board would like to read out. Item number 2.4, the Board of Education is pleased to announce, with a motion by Trustee Lopez, seconded by Trustee Munoz, and a vote of 4 yeses, has appointed Mr. Rod Tilton to be the next principal of Glendora High School. Take a bow. See, we do things in there. The appointment will be effective April 28, 2026, and tentatively placed on step 3 of the certificated management salary schedule. Again, congratulations to you. He'll be doing a presentation later tonight, so hopefully, we got that greased and ready to go. The next item, the Board of Education is pleased to announce, with a motion by Trustee Lopez, seconded by Trustee Garcia, and a vote of 4 yeses, has appointed Daniela Castro-Kent to be the next principal of Stanton Elementary School. That appointment will also be effective April 28, 2026, and tentatively placed on step 1 of the certificated management salary schedule. Congratulations to you, Mrs. Castro-Kent. So you can text her now, it's official, and let her know that she's watching. Okay, Daniela, congratulations, very good. All right, so we reported our action taken in closed session. We'll go to item 3.2 with a roll call of attendees tonight, please.
Member Garcia?
Present.
Member Munoz?
Present.
Vice President Lopez?
Here.
Board President Clifford?
Present. Thank you very much.
Please note that Dr. KM, Board Clerk, is absent.
We will move down to 3.4, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. Rosa Ramos will lead us in that, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Item 3.5 is an adoption of the current agenda. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion on that issue? All those in favor? No opposition. We will move forward. The next item is item number 3.6, public comment. I have 6 cards, and 5 of them are about the same thing, so I'll take the first one that is not about the same thing, which is Winston Summer. And come on up, Winston. You have something important to say? You have 3 minutes, so go ahead and get started, sir.
All right. My name is Winston Sommer. I'm a 9th grader at Glendora High School, and I will be speaking about the Glendora Memorial Day 5K, which my dad and family have put on for the past 2 years now, from 2023 till now. We appreciate the school board's support of the race, and we know it's been very helpful. And I know that in the past, Superintendent DeGrazia and other members of the school board have ran the race themselves. And our goal is to raise money for the schools and the athletic programs and local charities. Because of the GUSD support, the race has been growing. As an example, we had 500 participants in 2023, and this year we expect over 1,500. We have donated to the elementary schools, the middle school cross-country and track programs, and the high school cross-country and track programs. And we hope for the continued support and promise to keep donating to GUSD. Thank you.
Winston, thank you. You can count on our help. Okay, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all the same topic, which is dual immersion program. So if Taylor and Megan and Darlene and Tamana and Kathy would just, starting with Taylor first, come up to the dais, and the following names just line up so we can, you guys all have the same topic. And we'll take Taylor first, and then Megan, and then Darlene, Tamana, and then Kathy, in that order, okay? And I'll say your last names as you speak. So the first speaker will be Taylor Sandoval. Thank you,
Hello.
Taylor.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. I'm Taylor Sandoval, and I am a parent in Glendora School District. My daughter is at TK at Sutherland right now, and we were super excited that when we started coming, I was excited to move to Glendora, but we were excited to have our daughter at Sutherland as our homeschool because we heard about the dual immersion program. And thankfully for these parents, they were really big advocates for it and got us really excited. So when it came to the informational meeting that happened on January 7th, we were really looking forward to it. We heard all the great things about the program, about their children's education, the growth, the cultural building within the community. And while we were there, the meeting was a little discouraging in terms of that it needs to be 50-50. There are two different ways of how the program is run. And you need 50 English speakers, 50 Spanish speakers. So that being said, there was a wait list that if you had an English speaking only, you could be waitlisted. And then there's also the Spanish speaking. From what I understand, when we got the email, it's closed now. And it's because of not enough native speakers. But the CDE does say that there is opportunity for a one-way path. And it was just such a bummer to get just an email saying, hey, we didn't get enough native speakers. It is what it is. The program's cut. And I feel like there's just so much more advocating that we could do for a program like this. There's so much benefits the district as a whole with bringing in more students. I know enrollment is always dwindling. My mother works at Monrovia School District. I hear about it all the time. Other schools and other districts are having these programs that are drawing people in. It drew me in and it sold me, and I was really excited about it. And it would just completely break my heart if we didn't have an opportunity like this for our students. So I'm asking the board to really reconsider reinstating this program just because of all the benefits, which I'm sure my fellow parents are going to go ahead and speak about because they have children in the program. But as a parent who really would like to see this grow, we'd really like to work with you guys. And we're a community. That's what I liked about Glendora was how community-based it was. I think that we could really make this into something great. So thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Megan Jara? Hi.
I'm going to read mine just so I don't mess up. Good evening. My name is Megan Hara. I also have a daughter in dual immersion, Amaya Hara, in the first grade. So I would like to share my experience with my daughter Amaya currently in her second year of dual immersion. When Sutherland first presented the idea of dual immersion program, we were definitely interested, but also had our reservations. We wondered if mastering 2 languages at one time would cause her to be delayed in her English skills. We sought advice of several people in our community, teachers and child development professionals. Ultimately, we came to the decision for our child it would be the best decision. Well, fast forward to almost the completion of her second year, and I am so grateful to share not only is she excelling in her Spanish, but is reading English chapter books in first grade. When I listen to her talk through her math homework and she's counting aloud in Spanish, I am so proud. It shows the hardwiring of her brain in 2 languages is truly developing. I truly wish to see this program continue in our community as it is a great asset. I would also like to give mention to the outpouring of heart, time, and love that Ms. Ochoa and Ms. Zuniga have given to this program. Not only has my daughter learned Spanish, but she is exposed to an immense amount of culture. Please, we ask you to reconsider continuing this amazing program for our children, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Darlene Ortizo?
Hello, my name is Darlene, and I have a daughter in the first grade dual language program at Sutherland. I grew up in Southern California speaking only English, And I can stand here and share statistics about how students like me were at a disadvantage, like the fact that bilingual individuals can earn up to 5 to 20% more over their lifetime, or that students in dual language programs often outperform their peers academically by middle school. But if decisions about this program were based on proven research alone, we wouldn't be even questioning whether it should still continue. So instead, I want to share a story about my family and the impact that this program has had in just under 2 years. Because I didn't grow up learning another language, I wanted something better for my daughters. Before my oldest started the program, I asked my husband, who is fluent in a Filipino dialect, to speak to us only in that language at home because we wanted to experience immersion, because we know that immersion is one of the most effective ways to learn a language. On day one, my daughter told him, "Daddy, stop talking weird." This program doesn't just teach language. It builds curiosity, confidence, and cultural awareness. It helps our children become more open, more understanding, and more excited to learn about the world around them. And honestly, isn't that what we need in the new generation? Now, my daughter asks us to say things in different languages. She comes home excited to share how other cultures celebrate and even points out similarities to our own. She teaches her little sister, and now my now 3-year-old is speaking and singing in Spanish. That kind of growth in less than 2 years is something you can't replicate in an after-school program. This level of learning, connection, and enthusiasm comes from consistent, meaningful immersion. I've seen firsthand what this program does, and I can only hope these children are given the opportunity to continue. I also want to recognize Ms. Ochoa and Ms. Zuniga because they've created something truly special, something that goes far beyond a language class. Their dedication shows in our children every day, and these students are learning more and taking on more and are thriving. They deserve the chance to keep it going. So I hope you guys reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you. Kamana Acha? Go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone here tonight as well. My name is Tamana Acha, and both of my kids are actually currently enrolled in the dual language immersion program, and I'm proud to say that they are thriving. Recently, the DLI community was informed that the program had been terminated due to lack of interest, and we are here tonight as parents, members of the community, to respectfully disagree. And by we, I mean 310 individuals. Current parents, prospective families that are considering enrollment, guardians, and community members, all of whom signed this petition in just a matter of 3 days. 310 signatures, with many powerful comments standing behind them. For the sake of brevity, I'd like to read just one comment from the petition that stood out. The DI program adds value to a GUSD education. It creates daily opportunities for students from different backgrounds to learn from one another, which builds empathy and genuine peer connections. Over time, this shared experience fosters a stronger sense of belonging, where students feel both understood and valued. At the high school level, GUSD recognizes seniors with a seal of biliteracy, demonstrating the district's own recognition of the value of the 2 languages, demonstrating so much more than that. Ending the DI program does not align with that recognition. A new mariachi band elective recently received positive media coverage for bringing music and culture together. Ending the DI program does not align with that thriving elective either. GUSD, please listen to the students and the community that you serve by reinstating the DI program. End quote. We believe the reported lack of interest reflects a failure to adequately survey our community, not an absence of need. This petition is proof of that interest. So tonight, we are calling on all of you to reinstate the dual language immersion program for the upcoming school year, conduct a proper community needs assessment before making any further cuts, establish a bilingual family advisory committee to ensure ongoing community input, and develop a long-term plan to sustain and grow the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Nerio, go right ahead.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Katie Nerio, and I'm here to share what the Spanish Dual Immersion program has meant to my family and why continuing to grow and promote this program matters so much. So when I first heard about the Dual Immersion program in Glendora, I'll be honest, I was not sold. Spanish is already spoken at my house, so I didn't immediately see the need. It wasn't until another parent who is here today, thank you, Hadi, took the time to share her experience in the growth that she saw in her child and decided to take a chance and apply. And I'm so grateful that we did. What I've seen in my daughter goes far beyond academics. She is developing a deep appreciation for culture, diversity, and identity. As a Latina, she is beginning to truly embrace her background, not just at home, but in everyday learning environment. I've seen something that is much harder to teach, and that is confidence. There's a sense of pride in her voice when she speaks and willingness to participate and a comfort of being exactly who she is. This program creates that space. I also want to take a moment to recognize Ms. Ochoa for her leadership, her passion for dual immersion, and the hard work that she has put into building this program from the ground up. It truly shows. But I'm standing here today because I almost missed out on this opportunity. If it weren't for another parent sharing their story, my daughter might have not been in this program today. And that is why I strongly believe that one of the most important next steps for this district is investing in marketing and outreach. We have a strong program, but if families don't know about it or don't understand the value that it brings to our children, then we're gonna lose momentum. And we risk losing this momentum while surrounding districts like Azusa, Claremont, and Upland continue to grow their programs. We can't afford to fall behind. Dual Immersion is not just a program, it's a preparation for the future. Our children are growing up in a diverse and connected world, and the ability to understand different languages, different cultures, different backgrounds, perspective is essential. As more families learn about this impact of this program, I truly believe we will see an increased interest and enrollment. But it starts with intentional outreach, with storytelling, and making sure families feel informed and inspired. That is the first step. That is exactly what made me apply. So I'm incredibly grateful that we did, and I'm grateful for you all letting us take the time here to share our experiences. And I do believe that supporting these programs will help our children grow, not just academically, but in confidence and culturally aware individuals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for those public comments. I have no further cards, so I'm going to close the public comment period. And I'm going to send this back to the superintendent for 1 minute, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, this item is not listed specifically on the agenda this evening. We obviously take the comments to heart. We will be following up with each of you individually, and maybe even some of you collectively as a group. You bring up some good points. Some of them we thought about and addressed, and some maybe that we haven't. So very much appreciated. I appreciate you coming up and making the comments. Thank you so much.
All right. Let's move down to the student board member report. Rosa Ramos, go right ahead.
Okay. La Fetra Elementary. State testing has begun, and our students are putting a great effort to show all that they've learned this year. We are proud of their focus and preservation. It's an exciting field trip season at La Fetra. First graders enjoyed trips to San Bernardino Museum at LA Zoo. Second graders had a great experience at Valcan and looking forward to their upcoming visit to In-N-Out. And our fourth graders had a wonderful time exploring the Science Center. Last Friday, PTA hosted a fantastic magic show event that brought fun and excitement to our school community. This Wednesday, we're looking forward to a fundraiser at Freddy's in Glendora. Thank you in advance for supporting our school. This Friday marks our final student awards ceremony. We will celebrate our students' hard work, growth, and accomplishments. Sellers Elementary. PTA held another amazing book fair last week. Their Scholastic and Scopes event with their handles truck was a huge success and brought in a lot of parents to the book fair. State testing has begun and their students are doing great. We are rocking along and getting those tests completed while we show what we know. The Dairy Council cow was here on Friday with lots of information on nutrition and supporting childhood health. PTA has sponsored some amazing fun trips this year and will as bringing in quality assemblies. Our final assembly of the year will be our BMX assembly on April 28th. The kids love watching the stunts and tricks. The BMX group always has such a positive and they love to spread to the students. Goddard Middle School. On Wednesday, April 22nd, we proudly celebrated an Administrative Professionals Day. We would like to extend our heartfelt thank you to Ms. Perry, Ms. Turin, and Ms. Mendez for their dedication, hard work, and countless ways to support our staff, students, and families each day. Their efforts behind the scenes help to ensure our school runs smoothly and affectionately. They truly are a big part of what makes Goddard Middle School such a special place. Our track team completed in their league primaries at Diamond Bar on Monday, April 20th, and our student athletes represent Goddard with pride. Many students achieved personal best, demonstrating the results of commitment, perseverance, and hard work throughout the season. We are excited to see how they continue to perform in the finals. CAPS testing has finally begun at Goddard on Wednesday, April 22nd, and we will take place over the course of the 4 days. Our students have been preparing digitally and looking forward to seeing them showcase all that they have learned this year. We are confident in their efforts and encourage them to continue giving their best during testing. On Friday, April 24th, Goddard, along with Sandburg and Glendora High School, was honored at California Distinguished Schools Reputation held at Disneyland Hotel. The recognition is a reflect of their hard work, dedication for our students, staff, and community. We are incredibly proud to be a part of such an astounding group of students to celebrate this achievement together. And finally, Whitcomb High School. We have begun state testing for our 11th grade students. They will be assessed on grade level standards in English, math, and science. We wish all of our students the best of luck. Last week, our campus security associate participated in reservoir practices training led by Kathy Holman. This work is helping our staff strengthen their interactions with students and continue building a positive, cohesive school culture at Whitcomb. On Friday, our history students visited the Museum of Tolerance to deepen their learning and connect of the classroom to the real-world experiences. Additionally, 4 of our students will attend the CCEA conference on Friday and Saturday. This is a valuable opportunity to collaborate with our alternative educators and bring back effective strategies to support our students. Our athlete program has kicked off to the volleyball season, which our first game is scheduled for April 30th against Rose City. Good luck, Wildcats.
Thank you, Rosa, very much. We appreciate that update. Lots going on right now, and then now it's going to come back to the comments from the members of the Board of Education, which is 4.2. I'd like to start at my left with Trustee Garcia.
Thank you, and I love seeing a full room. And everyone's all dapper with these beautiful GHS tartan plaid ties. So that's for the people watching at home, the thousands of people that watch from home, because they don't get to see you. Anyway, congratulations, Mr. Tilton, and congratulations to Mrs. Castro-Kent at Stanton. I am looking forward to seeing the growth under your leadership at both of our campuses. So thank you for your commitment to our district and for the many years of service thus far and the many that you will have ahead of you. So congratulations. I'm going to keep it brief because I want to get to the presentation. But I do want to acknowledge the people who came to speak tonight for public comment. one, the Memorial 5K. I'm there every year. I don't know if I'll be there this year. Not because I don't want to be, but because I have other plans. But I'm hoping to be, and I hope the community shows up. It's such an amazing event. I mean, a lot of people show up to that event. And FYI, you don't have to run it. You can walk it. Just participate because it's a great fundraiser, and it's a great time to just get active with the community. So hopefully we have a lot of participation this year as well. As far as our public comments regarding the dual immersion program, I do want to thank the parents that are here today because your perspective is critical in this process. I think it's important to hear. I hadn't heard feedback from our parents about how this was not only benefiting their students, but how distraught they are about the program being eliminated. I did receive some comments, some private messages on my Instagram, which I always welcome and appreciate because I want that feedback. I want to know how these decisions that are made from this board are directly impacting your students and you as a community. So thank you for being here. I would like, I do think that we need to take this to have a bigger conversation about it. I know that we've had conversations about it as a board, but I do think the community deserves more information. So what does this look like? I would like to hopefully get a second from one of our trustees to bring back a community conversation, a presentation from our staff that highlights the pros and cons of the benefit, the cost and benefits of the program, what we did to ensure its viability, and is there a possibility for it to come back in an alternate way? Maybe we don't have the 50% Spanish native speakers. Can we do something else? I think it's worth having that conversation because as we heard from our community members, and I'm sure there are plenty more out there, we need to make sure that we do our due diligence to determine whether or not this program should be on the chopping block. So if I can get a second to request that presentation, that would be wonderful.
I'll second it.
Thank you. So maybe the staff can work on putting that on the agenda and communicating that to the community so that we can have a bigger conversation and a full presentation of how we came to the decision that we are in today. So.
We will work on
But
it.
I want to reiterate, we haven't made a decision yet, right? It's not on there hasn't been any decision made yet. We're still in the process of taking that data in and
Do you
before.
want to elaborate? Do you want to? Oh, it's been done. Yeah.
Already done?
Yes, so communication, the current cohort of students will go through third grade as was set up in the pilot. Due to not having enough Spanish speakers in the cohort for next year, we were unable to have the 50-50 model, and so we did announce the suspension of the pilot, starting with next year's cohort, but the current cohorts will continue through third grade.
So there's still some time to work on that, get the data and make some, that was my point. We can do that.
And we can bring that to a future
Yeah.
board meeting of this year.
That's good
Yes,
news.
Within our calendar
right.
or fiscal year.
And that's all I have. Oh, actually, one more thing. I want to thank everyone who attended the Glendora Education Foundation Sip and Support. It was a great success. A lot of fun was had. And Memes of Glendora was our Masters of Ceremony, and he did a phenomenal job. I appreciate everyone who attended, who bid online, who donated, all of those funds. I can't wait to hear what those numbers look like, but I know that they all come back to our district and for hands-on experiences for our students, so thank you for your support.
Thank you. Trustee Munoz, you're up.
Oh, thank you, President Clifford. Okay, so it was a busy month in April. So Whitcomb, I start off my visit at Whitcomb. Got to see the student appreciation. I saw you receive an award, Rosa. Congratulations. So got to visit that school. Another amazing event was a Voices of Foothill. That was, I'm not sure if some of you in the audience were there, but it was a sold-out event. It was at Citrus College. I was very, very impressed with the whole presentation, so that was a great thing. Got to visit Glendora High School and to see all the student awards. That was great to attend that ceremony. And like Monica said, I don't want to reiterate too much, but Glendora Education Foundation, the SIP and support, That was an amazing event. The American Legion literally transformed to like a different era. I felt like I was in a cocktail, like Las Vegas, like room. It was amazing how the decorations they did, and I want to thank everyone that supported that foundation. A lot of that money they raised all comes back to our school, so I really appreciate that. And also want to thank the speakers. I know Memorial Day run. I ran it last year. I on purposely didn't run fast because I want to beat my time this year. We'll see. So it's a great event. Please, if like I said, you don't have to run it. You could walk it. It's a great event to just support the community in that sense. And secondly, all the speakers today for dual language. I appreciate you guys coming, spending your time. You know, we appreciate you taking the time and explaining your concerns about it. So we appreciate that. And that'll be it.
My turn.
Trustee
I'm good.
Lopez, you're up.
I'm good. Yeah. Yes, to the speakers, thank you for being here. It's always good to hear community voice when we're making decisions as a district and a school board. So we do love to hear people's voices. Congratulations, Rod, and to Danny Kent for being named principals at our schools. And I know, Rod, you have a passion for GHS, right? We've been there a long time, so that's awesome. It's good to have people ready to take over. So, and looking forward to the hard work that you're going to put in, that you've already put in, and to extend that now. Congratulations to Sandburg, Goddard, and Glendora High School for being California Distinguished Schools. That just shows the hard work that's being put in at those sites to continually grow and get better. It's quite an honor to be named a California Distinguished School. So really good. Now, GEF, I was not able to be at. I think it's hard when you're trying to balance when you're running a high school, and those of you that know that work at the high school, it's hard to balance running a high school and to get to all the events that our kids are doing, and then what the foundation is doing, or what everything's happening in Glendora. However, next year will be different because I am retiring. So yeah, I got 40 years in education, so I am, and the staff said, well, you don't have to put it that way when I said I am done. But yeah, I'm done. So yeah, I am retiring from education, formally from doing that, but still have some plans to stay connected. And it was funny because my wife said to me, she goes, well, good, so now you can slow down from going to events. I said, no, you don't understand. You've only been married to me 39 years. What do you think I'm going to do now? I'm going to ramp up, and I'm going to be at every event for our high school kids. So, no, I look forward to the future, and maybe, once you announce that, a little bit comes off your shoulders. Not everything comes off your shoulders. We still got a lot in front of us, but a little bit comes off your shoulders. So, looking forward to what the future brings in retirement, and getting to focus on being a board member. So, but also working in other arenas of education.
Well, it's got to feel really good, though, right?
Oh, 100%.
Let's give Mr. Lopez congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And of those 40 years, how many years were here? 38 of them?
I don't know. No. I've been there. Well, I got
35.
I got, so it was actually 38, I don't know, whatever stores, 38.3. But I have 2 years, and people that are at the high school know this. You go to work because you're working with young people every single day. So I had 2 years in sick leave that accumulated too, because you just don't miss.
Yeah.
You don't miss. You work your 14, 15-hour days, and you're there for your kids, and that's the job, right? That's the job that we all know and we love, and so that's just the way it is. So I got 2 years credit of sick leave, which pushed me up to 40, which there's no reason to go right, Eric. There's no reason for me to go any further. When you reach the age of 63, which will be not yet, but in a couple of weeks, and you've got 40 years in, there's really no reason to move on. So we're good.
Boy, I wish private industry worked like that, that'd be good for you.
Making money to pay stirs.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, thank you, trustees. Really good comments. I want to start out by saying congratulations to Mr. Tilton and Daniela Castro Kent. they were rigorous. These aren't just handed to people. They were very rigorous things that both of them went through, and there were lots of candidates, and they did a good job of rising to the top. I'm personally very proud of both of them, and they have very delicate and interesting facilities to take care of now with their staff, and I can't think of two better people to be doing that right now. So I'm proud to be part of a team that was able just to put the bow. That's what we get to do. We just get to tighten the bow over that beautiful package that was presented to us in both of these Glendora Unified School District employees that currently work here, that have been promoted internally, which is one of my favorite things, to the top spot. So I just wanted to say that. I'm also proud of the citizens and the parents that talked about the dual immersion at Sutherland School. I think that that's really important. I think there were things that were not brought to our attention that will be. And I could just tell you from one, and I think you heard it from everyone here, that we'll do everything that we can to keep programs open that bring students into our schools. That makes a lot of sense. And if you have 300 people that are gonna bring, 50 students, that's a bunch of students. I mean, that's good news. So I don't think anybody's gonna say no to 50 times, $11,000 per student to come as revenue, if that's the case. So we'll look at all those numbers, and I think to a T, the board supports that. That's what our plan is, to try to bring new students into the district. So thank you for that information, and we'll take it all under submission as we can. But I appreciate you taking your 3 minutes. I know that's not always comfortable. It's hard to do. We do it a lot, and it's hard. It's not easy, but you did a great job, every single one of you, as did the young man who talked about the memorial race. So thank you. In all the other events, I couldn't make it to the GEF event either because I was with another group of the distinguished schools and some other things that were going on. But Linda and I did support it, and my company did support it because we support that foundation as it helps our schools. And as long as we're represented, I feel good. But I had the pleasure of being at the Disneyland Hotel with the all-stars from our school district, which were Goddard, Sandburg, and the Glendora High School. And we got to take some fancy pictures with the state superintendent and some other important people on the stage. Mickey Mouse, we got to take a picture with Mickey, which is always a fun thing. But I have to tell you, as you all know as parents, my hat is off to you, because I don't know how you do that Disneyland experience. Just going there to Disneyland Hotel for that event, because remember, there's 1,000 districts, right? Right, about 1,000 districts in the school district. And if each one of those districts had 3 or 4 people there, which I don't know, we had, 10 people there? So you do the math, there's like 6,000 people rolling through that event. And you go there and you park in the structure for $60, and then you walk 2 miles to the hotel. It is allegedly the happiest place on earth. Maybe if you're on a ride, but getting there for an event, it was a little different. But I do want to say that regardless of all that, the room was beautiful, the esprit de corps from all the different statewide districts that were there was incredible. It was very intimate when you got up there on the stage with the groups to take the pictures and celebrate that. And we ran into a couple of previous GUSD teachers and administrators, and they all wanted to come up and take a picture with Glendora Unified School District, which I thought was very awesome. So congratulations again to Goddard, Sandburg, and Glendora High School for being California Distinguished Schools, and thank you for allowing us to get that mug again. That's a great mug, right? The little drinking cup. So I appreciate that. And, we had a lot of meetings and a lot of events since our last meeting, because we only had one meeting this month. So we meet regularly to go over the agenda and other items, and we appreciate being able to resolve those issues for you as they come up. And so if there's nothing further, we'll get back to the business of the agenda, which takes our comments over to the important man to my right, 4.3, the superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, distinguished guests. My sincere gratitude and thanks to Mr. Tilton and Mrs. Castro-Kent, and congratulations again to them. So well deserved indeed. It is the final month of the school year that we have entered into. There are 23 days, some of you might know that out there, 23 days remaining in the school year. It's going to go fast, so hang on tight. Testing season is also upon us. Finish strong and sustain your success. We have one more open house right here at Sellers on May 14th. You're going to hear from Mr. Tilton and his team in just a moment. First time as the Glendora High School principal. GHS staff is an outstanding group of caring professionals. You're going to hear all the great things happening about GHS. Recent ratings by the U.S. News and World Report, their annual rankings came out. And in California and in the nation, GHS was ranked in the top 12% of all schools in California. That deserves some applause. Definitely. You're also going to hear about our exchange agreement that's coming forward to the board this evening. We're going to review a process, a presentation. You're going to hear from an attorney that we've been working with for many, many months, and some next steps about that process. Glendora High School is hosting their annual art show on Thursday evening at 5:30. That's always a wonderful event. And last week, the Glendora Unified School District was recognized as a Best Communities for Music Education Award. There's no community more deserving than Glendora for that award and for Glendora Unified. That is given out by the National Association of Music Merchants. Kudos to all our masterful musicians, our students, their parents, patient parents, and our staff, our music staff. Amazing. Again, we all, many of us attended the fundraiser on Friday night for the Glendora Ed Foundation. We thank them for their continuous support, and we thank the community for showing up and showing out, and for the Ed Foundation for another successful annual signature fundraising event. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for that report. We will move to our presentations. Our first presentation tonight is 5.1, Glendora High School, presented by Principal Rod Tilton and staff. Principal Tilton, do you want to introduce your staff before you get started?
I think there might be too many of them here, but I do want to introduce my family.
Okay, there you go. There you go. That's even more important.
They moved.
Stand up as he's...
My son, Jake Tilton, my daughter-in-law, Kelly Tilton, my daughter, Carly, my wife, Kelly. No, I didn't say the wrong name twice. There's two Kelly Tiltons. And my mom, Marion Tilton, which all five of them graduated from Glendora High School.
Nice.
Thank you for giving me that opportunity, and the opportunity you gave me tonight as well. Trustee President Clifford, Board of Trustees, Dr. DeGrazia, and GUSD Cabinet, our Tartan team is happy to be here this evening and present all that is great about Glendora High School. We're excited to share with you how, by focusing on every student, every learner, every day, we will not only continue to achieve greatness in the future, but we will also show why every day it's great to be a Tartan. With me this evening presenting our Assistant Principals, Mr. Eric Bondurant and Mr. Brian Ilarigi, Dean of Support Student Services, Mrs. Nikki Kosick, Lead Counselor, Mrs. Michelle Ashley, Athletic Director, Mr. Jerry Llewellyn, and Activities Director, Deborah Clune. In addition, here to support are some of our amazing staff. They're so supportive and they are amazing in what they do, and thank you for your support by being here tonight. As you know, over the past 7 years, Glendora High School has experienced significant leadership transition with 5 different principals during that time. The Tartans have had to navigate a great deal of change. What has remained consistent, however, is what truly makes Glendora High School exceptional. Our outstanding students, our dedicated and talented staff, and the community whose support is second to none. Putting all of these things together creates a strong and steady foundation that uplifts our students every day. As Helen Keller once said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. That spirit of collective support continues to define and strengthen our school. We are confident that you will leave here tonight with a deep appreciation for the hard work and dedication of the students and staff. What truly sets this place apart, however, is the spirit of teamwork and the support that brings our community together. Students, staff, and families all working together, side by side, to create something special. Last year, we left you telling stories of greatness at GHS, and it is fitting that we pick up here tonight with It's Great to be a Tartan. Each day we connect our stories of greatness centered around working toward our WASC and school site goals, which are foster a healthy learning environment for a powerful future. When you walk on our campus, a healthy learning environment means students feel safe, supported, challenged, and connected so they can graduate prepared for a powerful future. A few examples you might see is a simple act of staff greeting students by name at their classroom door, or leadership greeting students as they arrive on campus each day. Increased college and career readiness for increased opportunities for all students. At GHS, college and career readiness means every student graduates with the knowledge, skills, and experiences needed to pursue a meaningful and opportunities so they are ready to be enrolled, employed, or enlisted. Align curriculum assessment and data analysis. Our teachers are continuing to work of planning and aligning instruction so that all students receive the same high-quality instruction in every classroom. Through the use of data collected from state tests, interim assessments, as well as teacher-designed common assessments, our teachers continually adjust instruction to meet the learning needs of our students so that each and every one can be successful. When you put all these things together, our environment, our opportunities, and our people, it's clear. It's not just a great day to be a Tartan, it's a great place to become a Tartan. Glendora High School was recently named California Distinguished School. We are honored in not only one, but two categories. One being exemplary achievers and the other being gap closers. Let me expand on that with the story of our test scores. We are proud to share some very encouraging news about our students' academic growth this year. In ELA, our 11th graders showed an impressive increase of 6.1% from the previous year. Even more encouraging, we saw a decrease of over 3% in students performing at levels 1 and 2. This reflects meaningful progress in moving students toward proficiency and beyond. In math, we also saw strong gains with 5.09% increase from last year. Additionally, there was 3% decrease in level 1 and 2% decrease in level 2, demonstrating that more of our students are building the skills they need for success. While this data represents only our 11th grade students, it is absolutely worth celebrating. It highlights not only students' effort, but also the intentional, high-quality instruction happening in our classrooms every day. Our teachers' focus on standard-based instruction, data-informed practices, and targeted support is clearly making a difference. Looking more closely at ELA, when we examine the claim areas, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, we see something especially powerful. In each of these 4 areas, fewer than 10% of our 11th graders are performing below standard. This speaks to the strength of consistency instruction across literacy domains. In math, we have another point of pride. Our students exceed the statewide high school proficiency rate by nearly 20%. This is a remarkable achievement and reflects the alignment of curriculum, assessment, and instructional practices across the math department. These results directly connect to our WASC goals, strengthening instructional practices, using data to drive decision-making, and ensuring all students are progressing toward mastery. What we are seeing in this impact and collective commitment in action. Overall, these results reflect growth, resilience, and a collective commitment to continuous improvement. While we remain focused on reaching even greater heights, there is so much more to celebrate. It is truly great to be a tested Tartan. Now I will turn it over to our lead counselor, Michelle Ashley.
One of our most important responsibilities as high school educators is to ensure that every student is prepared for the path they choose after graduation. To do this effectively, we rely on data to both celebrate our successes and identify areas where we can continue to grow. As you know, the state's College and Career Indicator provides a comprehensive measure of how we're meeting this goal. This indicator incorporates multiple measures of readiness, including performance on the CASP, A to G completion, AP exam results, and completion of career technical education pathways. For the 2024-25 school year, Glendora High School achieved a college and career readiness rate of 62%, which is 10.3 percentage points above the state average and represents a 2.8 increase from the previous year. Notably, one of our most meaningful areas of growth is among our students with disabilities, who demonstrated significant progress, moving from the red to the yellow performance tier with a 6.7% increase. This reflects our continued commitment to expanding access and support for all students. As highlighted on this slide, our advanced placement outcomes can remain a strong point of pride. In 2025, our AP pass rate reached an impressive 88.6%. In addition, our A to G completion and college-going rates continue to be key priorities for both our counseling department and our school community as a whole. We're also proud to report a graduation rate of 97.9%, which exceeds the state average by more than 10 percentage points. Looking at post-secondary outcomes for the class of 2025, 51.8% of our students enrolled in two-year colleges, while 38% matriculated to four-year universities. We're also seeing continued growth in students pursuing career and technical pathways, apprenticeships, military service, and direct entry into the workforce, demonstrating that our students are exploring a wide range of viable post-secondary options. Our A to G completion rate increased by an additional 2% this year, reaching 66%, and continues a steady upward trend over the past 4 years. As we look ahead, we remain focused on improving access to post-secondary planning resources. Glendora Unified School District, in partnership with the California College Guidance Initiative, is in the final phase of implementing a new system to better support students and families. We're currently engaged in staff training to ensure a smooth rollout at the start of the upcoming school year. This partnership will streamline the college application process by allowing students to directly transfer verified high school coursework and grades into the Cal State, UC, and California Community College applications, which will reduce errors and minimize administrative barriers. In addition, it provides counselors, students, and families with real-time tools to monitor A to G eligibility and financial aid progress, helping ensure that every student has a clear, informed, and data-driven path to post-secondary success. I'd like to now turn it over to our Dean of Student Services, Nikki Kosick, who will provide insight into our discipline data, suspension rates, and the ways we are building student engagement and connection.
Thank you. When we look at our discipline and suspension data, one thing we're proud of is that our out-of-school suspension rate declined. While we're encouraged by that decline, our focus goes beyond the numbers. It's about ensuring that every response to student behavior is meaningful, restorative, and focused on growth. At the same time, we've been very, very intentional about what happens when students do make mistakes. Because while the data shows improvement, our focus is not just on reducing suspensions, it's on how we respond in a way that actually changes behavior. That's where our in-school suspension structure comes in. When students are assigned ISS, it's not just time away from class, it's structured reflection, accountability, and learning. Students complete accountability projects where they reflect on their choices, understand the impact of their actions, and identify what they, and sometimes even the adults around them, can do differently moving forward. This allows us to shift from punishment to growth. We're not just asking, what did you do? We're asking, what are we going to do differently next time? But what we've learned is that accountability alone isn't enough. If students don't feel connected, they're more likely to disengage, and that's where discipline issues begin. That's why we've been very intentional about building connections across our campus, not just with students, but with staff as well. Through our Tartan Connection activities, we've created simple, meaningful opportunities for students to feel seen, heard, and valued. Whether it's a quick classroom activity, a campus-wide challenge, or a moment of reflection, the goal is always the same: build belonging. These moments might only take 10 minutes, but the impact lasts far beyond that. They create shared experiences, increase student voice, and strengthen relationships across campus, or across classrooms, and across campus. And just as importantly, we work to bring our staff into that same sense of connection. Because when staff feel connected to each other and to the culture of the school, that translates directly to how they show up for students. We are very intentional about creating a culture where staff feel valued, supported, and part of something bigger, because that's what sustains a positive learning environment. At the end of the day, discipline, accountability, and connection are not separate systems. They are all part of the same goal, making sure every student feels supported enough to grow and challenged enough to succeed. And when that happens, it exemplifies why it is truly great to be a Tartan. Back to Mr. Tilton, our brand new principal, to share about data supporting our journey.
I know that you guys have seen this chart many times. It's a very colorful chart, but sometimes hard to read chart. But this one is not like any one that you've ever seen before, because this slide does not have not one area of red anywhere, which is significantly different from last year where we had 6 different areas of red, mostly with our EL learners and special education students. This year we saw our EL learners grow significantly and improve in their EL progress. We reclassified almost all students who earned a level 4 on summative LPAC and have worked on goal setting with our long-term English learners so they understand what they need to do to exit the program. In special education, not only did ELA and math go from red to yellow, signaling that our systems of support and interventions are beginning to close gaps and accelerate learning, our CCI rate increased, which was a focus. Further, the graduation rate for our special education students moved from orange to green. That is all to be celebrated. This all aligns directly with our WAS goals, strengthening instructional practices, using data to guide these decisions, and ensuring all students are progressing toward mastery. What we are seeing in this dashboard is the result of that collective work and action. Overall, this is a journey of growth, momentum, and commitment. We are not only improving outcomes for students overall, but we are also making meaningful progress in supporting each student group, ensuring that every Tartan has the opportunity to succeed. And anytime a Tartan succeeds, it truly is great to be a Tartan. And now, Mr. Eric Bondurant will present some glows and some grows.
Thank you. I will now highlight several areas where we continue to see growth and success across our campus. In visual and performing arts, our programs continue to thrive. Each of our groups is growing in size and demonstrating excellence. The utilization of Prop 28 has helped to enhance all areas of our visual and performing arts. We continue to celebrate the addition of mariachi this year and look forward to the addition of mariachi 2 in 26-27. We have been able to update our lighting and microphone system for drama. Prop 28 has also allowed us to relieve our boosters by providing a good amount of funds for our coaches. Our visual arts program have also been supported through the acquisition of materials and updated equipment. Prop 28 also supported the addition of our new co-taught general education elective, The Art of Self-Expression. This course promotes inclusivity as students with special needs can work in a general education class alongside their typical peers and have the ability to develop and highlight their individual unique skills. For the 3rd year in a row, we have seen an increase in our A to G completion rate. This is an important indicator of our students' readiness for college and career opportunities. Our counselors continue to target the A through G completion in order to provide as many opportunities for our students as possible. Our career technical education programs are also experiencing significant growth. This year, we are projected to have 122 CTE pathway completers, which is more than double the number we had just 2 years ago. Academically, we are proud to recognize 5 National Merit finalists, an outstanding achievement that reflects the dedication and talents of our amazing students. Our AVID program continues to set the standard, once again achieving a 100% acceptance rate to 4-year colleges. Additionally, our college and career indicator numbers have continued to rise every year over the past 5 years, showing consistent progress in preparing students for life beyond high school. And finally, we have expanded our math course offerings to increase accessibility to the integrated curriculum, ensuring that more students have the opportunity to succeed in rigorous coursework. These accomplishments reflect the hard work of students, staff, and community, and they demonstrate the positive momentum we continue to build. I'd like to take a moment to highlight a few areas where we continue to grow and strengthen our work in support of student success. First, our AI committee, a dedicated group of staff members, has been meeting regularly to navigate the ever-evolving landscape of artificial intelligence. Their work is focused on both the opportunities and the challenges that AI presents, ensuring we are thoughtful, informed, and proactive in how it supports teaching and learning. In the area of instruction, our teams continue to utilize data from the interim assessments. Departments are working collaboratively to analyze the data in order to refine instruction and strengthen alignment across courses, ensuring a consistent and high-quality learning experience for all students. Improving attendance remains a priority. We have increased communication with students and family and expanded support systems to address absenteeism. Additionally, we are working on implementing technology that allows for more immediate communication and visibility around tardiness, helping to reinforce expectations and accountability. We are also closely monitoring and supporting our special education students, particularly in relation to the performance on the College and Career Indicator and CASP assessments. Our goal is to ensure all students are supported and making meaningful progress. All of these efforts are directly connected to our WASC goals as we continue to focus on growth, alignment, and improved outcomes for every student. And now I will turn it over to Mrs. Deborah Clune and Mr. Jerry Llewellyn.
Thank you. GHS has a robust lunchtime club community. We're offering over 90 student-led clubs, and there's something for everyone when we have numbers that high. We often discuss the 4 A's at GHS: academics, where 100% of our avid students have already been accepted to a 4-year college, in addition to the successes that have already been spoken about. In activities, we had over 70% attendance at 3 different events: our Welcome Back Dance, our Homecoming, and our Action event.
In athletics, 783 members of our student body compete as student athletes, which is 39% of our student body. More importantly, they consistently demonstrate that they are students first, excelling in the classroom as well as in the competition. This year, 177 of our junior and senior athletes earned a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher, and 33 of those were recognized as Paul Morris League first-team scholar athletes. Finally, in the arts, 479 students take part in our performing arts programs, which is 24% of our student body. I would challenge the idea that young people are not able to multitask. In fact, our students demonstrate a remarkable ability to balance multiple responsibilities. Many of our highest achieving students are the same students who are deeply engaged in the arts, athletics, leadership, and a wide range of school activities, excelling both in and out of the classroom.
Next up, we turn it over to Mr. Brian Illarigi.
He's been dreading that all day. Good evening. At Glendora High School, our staff is deeply engaged, not only in their classrooms, but in meaningful collaboration with one another. Across our English, math, and science departments, teachers have been working together to examine student needs, align instruction, and make thoughtful decisions about which interim assessments to use, why they matter, and how to respond to the data. This has not been easy work. It requires honest dialogue, professional trust, and a willingness to challenge our own thinking. But through the process, our teams have built strong alignment and clarity, and ultimately better support for our students. It has truly been a case of challenging work that is well worth it. In math, we are also in the midst of our adoption process. Our committee members and pilot teachers have been deeply involved in reviewing materials, engaging in rich discourse, and having thoughtful discussions about instruction, rigor, and student engagement. Their work effort reflects a commitment to ensuring we choose resources that best serve all learners. And while this slide highlights the professional work of our staff, it also celebrates something equally important: community support. Our staff is consistently uplifted by the generosity of our community. So many local businesses, alumni, and parents show their appreciation by sponsoring meals and treats during staff meetings. We'd like to recognize and thank Classic Coffee, Foothill Credit Union, Grand Canyon University, Happy Jeweler, and Southland Properties for their ongoing support. Their generosity fuels not just our staff, but the positive culture we are so proud of. It's clear our staff is supported, valued, and cared for by the community that believes in their work. Because at Glendora High School, it is always a staff-tastic day to be a Tartan. And back to Mr. Rod Tilton.
We've said this before and it's worth repeating. The amount of support GHS receives from our families and community is truly second to none. This is evident when our crowds outnumber our opponents at every single competition, when the Rotary Choir Festival sells out a large venue at Citrus College. You see it in the incredible backdrops and props built by parents with the funds raised by boosters for our VAPA programs, in sold-out theater performances, and in the presence we bring band competitions and parades. It even shows up in the immediate engagement of our social media posts, where oftentimes our parents are the first ones to respond and like our posts, or tell me I misspelled their child's name. With all that in mind, although many of our students already do this, it is time for all of us to fully reciprocate that support. We are making a strong push for our students to give back, to show up for the community that has shown up for them for so long. Opportunities like Glendora Trail Days and Earth Days are just the beginning, and those are on the pictures there. So far this evening, we've highlighted the 4 A's: academics, arts, athletics, and activities. Now I'd like to shift our focus to something we call the 4 C's, because while the A's represent what we do, the C's define how we do it. We all know that relationships matter. It's easy to say that GHS is a place where connections are built, but the real work is in how we make that happen. At GHS, specifically over the past month or so, our team has focused on maintaining relationships by focusing on the 4 C's, which are communication, climate, culture, and community. Let's start with communication. My team and I are committed to communicating clearly, consistently, and frequently. In fact, at least one has mentioned to me that it might be too much communication. But I believe there is no such thing as over-communication when it comes to supporting our students, staff, and families. When people are informed, they feel connected. And when they feel connected, they are more engaged. I have really enjoyed working on my weekly Tartan Talks that go out each Saturday morning. The next C is climate. Tartan climate is the feeling of our campus in the moment. Like the weather, climate can change quickly, but by truly knowing our students and staff, we can recognize when that climate begins to shift and respond in ways that bring it back to a place where students feel safe, supported, and respected. We will be intentional about modeling and teaching how to respond to challenges, navigate conflict, and celebrate success in positive and productive ways. As we continue taking meaningful steps towards our WASC goals, our focus now shifts to the final 2 of our 4 C's, areas that are deeply rooted in who we are as a school. When we talk about Tartan culture, we're talking about our foundation. It's who we are over time, shaped by our traditions, guided by our expectations, and reflected in the pride we carry as Tartans. We will continue to strengthen our culture by embracing what makes GHS special, while also creating new traditions that reflect who we are today. This means maintaining high expectations for all students, taking pride in our campus, and most importantly, taking care of one another. To support this work, we will bring back Culture of Plaid, a collaborative effort that brings together our leadership team, VAPA directors, coaches, and other key staff members. This group will meet regularly to problem solve, share ideas, and intentionally plan ways to strengthen our campus experience for all of our students. Through this work, we don't just build culture, we positively impact our campus. Finally, there's Tartan community. Community is more than just those who support us from the outside. It includes our students, staff, and families who are on the inside of our campus and programs on a daily basis. It is everyone who has a stake in GHS. While schools are not businesses, there is something we can learn from them: the importance of customer service. Good customer service leads to happy customers, and by having happy customers, we will have positive climate. If we create a welcoming, supportive environment where people feel valued and respected, they are not only more connected to our campus, but also more prepared to succeed within it. When our community feels strong, our students feel better positioned to thrive. And when all 4 C's are working together, communication, climate, culture, and community, that's truly a great place where we don't just say it with me, we actually feel it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I did skip something, so I'm going to go backwards when I introduce my family. Hi, Mac.
Listen, before any of you sneak out, we're gonna have some questions, I'm sure, but I just wanna make a statement. I get to hear a lot of these, and first, my hat's off to Miss Sarah Najarro, who sits there very quietly, who finally presented to me something that I understand with the numbers and the colors, and I have not heard it presented better from a standpoint of where your school's at. And I just want to say, from student engagement, I mean, I always crunch numbers quickly, but it looks like over 90% of our students are either going to college or going to trade school. Like 93% of our students at that high school are doing something after high school. And the other 7% are going to work. I mean, those numbers are phenomenal. Now, and I know that you talked about leaders and having a lot of leaders, but guess who's in the playoff game? That's you. So you get to take the credit of all those leaders. So that's why I stood up. The numbers are incredible to me. The college bound, the AP testing, which my daughter really gets me in tune with. 4 years in a row, the pass rate increasing. That's a big deal to me. The ELA and math scores, it's good to be a trustee right now. I mean, we get to take credit for that. I mean, it's, you know, and we also get beat up when it's not so good. But I gotta tell you, these numbers are incredible, in my opinion. And I'm not making that up. I sat through this kind of like when you're at American Idol and you're listening to the song and gee, I'm at an event. I felt like I was at a playoff game and an event. Everything was just so good. So my hat is off to every staff member who presented tonight, but also the ones that sat there quietly and helped the numbers, because I know they're tough. And I think this is the best color chart I've ever seen, and I'm just so proud to be vicariously a Tartan by being up here. It's incredible, and looking at all those. So I have a lot more to say, but I'm going to be quiet and let my peers talk about it. But what a great presentation of the facts of what's happening at that high school.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you. I could listen to that all night. Back to the board.
I'll just reiterate, Ms. Chilton, congratulations again on new principal. And this,
Thank you for the opportunity.
Gary said, this was amazing. I love seeing the positiveness, the scores going up. I'm not sure it's my second year, but just to see these scores go up, I love it. I want to maintain it. The numbers are great. The challenge for you in the future is to maintain that and make it better. And so I believe in you, and I hope to see some great presentation in the futures. But great job and congratulations, and thank you to the staff, the teachers. I'm sure this is all, it's a collaborative effort, so I appreciate every one of you being here today.
Were you going to say, I'm sure she has something to say?
I saw that, right? I am sure you and Paul both have something to say.
I'm kidding. Of course I have something to say. Thank you for a beautiful presentation. I am a Tartan. I say I'm a Tartan because, you know, my kids went through there. I didn't go to Glendora High School, but I'm very well vested. So thank you. When my daughter, who is now a freshman in college, came into GHS, I was a little concerned with the college and career indicators, right? That's just frank. And I would have to do math really quick to tell you what year that was, but it's about 4 years ago, right? 5 years ago. And so this story tells that story of, we saw a room for growth, and we were intentional, and I say we, but really it was you all. There was a room for growth, and there was intention behind it. The city has this saying that says what gets funded gets done. And it's the same with us, right? At the high school, as a board, when we are intentional about identifying our room for growth and we on the daily focus our actions to align with what we want that growth to be, we're going to see a difference. So I want to thank all of those who were involved, you included as the assistant principal at the time and now principal, our teachers, our counselors. I'm not going to list it all because I don't want to skip anyone. Everyone who was involved in intentionally making those changes for our students to improve those numbers, because they're not just numbers. They're individual students who require that intentional support, that sit down and tell me what you want to do with your life, and we align those needs, what they want with what we have to offer. I think it's important, and I'm glad you told that story of it's hard to sometimes talk about our need for growth, right? We just want to celebrate all the good. But I do appreciate these presentations because it forces us to really look and say like, hey, yeah, things are great, but they can be better. So I want to call that out and say I appreciate that. I knew it 5 years ago, and I've been keeping an eye on it. And I have personally asked a lot of questions to make sure that we're making forward progress in that. So I'm happy to see these numbers improving. And I know they can continue to improve. And so I have a couple of questions. One, I wanted to know, as far as the suspension rate, are the ISS, the in-school suspensions, included in that number?
No.
No. Okay, so you don't have to tell me today, but I would love to see what those numbers look like. I do appreciate Ms. Kosick, right? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Talk about the in-school suspension. I think it's great. But I would like to see what those numbers are. You can shoot me an email, send to Dr. DeGrazia, because it's important that we take a look at that too. Is that growing? Is that reduced? Like, where are we with those numbers? And I'm sure you guys are keeping track of that. I just would like, for my own knowledge, to be aware of that. This page is great, but oh my God, it gives me a headache. I can't see a thing on this. So you did give me a bigger version, but I should have brought my glasses. But all I'm looking for is those little arrows.
Arrows going up.
Right? Whether they're going up or they're going down. I see very few going down. And I know from conversations we've had with Sarah, so excuse me, Dr. Najarro, that those things are being addressed. So though there are a couple of down arrows, I know that they are being addressed, and I appreciate that. I too appreciate the amount of participation, both through our athletics and our performing arts. I think it's I have both an athlete, an academic, performing arts. Both my kids have participated in both, and I understand the value, and I'm very much about protecting those two things and supporting those two things. So thank you for mentioning that, because we forget, right, that our kids need that type of engagement in order to come to school every day. That's the reason why they come to school, because they're in sports or because they're in the performing arts. So thank you for bringing that up. I think last one, I promise. I'm happy to hear that you're bringing back culture of plaid. I've had a few conversations with staff who mentioned they love the idea, but the implementation needed work. I trust that you're taking feedback from your staff to find out how you can make that better, because it is an amazing concept. We just have to make sure that it's working appropriately for your staff, and that's your job to do, right? But I'm happy that it's coming back. I think it's going to be amazing. And again, if that intention to make sure that it serves your staff and our students in the way that it is intended to, it'll be a great thing. That's all I have. And thank you again for your presentation, and to all of your staff that is here to support you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lopez, you're up.
No, great job, Rod.
Thank
This
you.
is really good. Detailed, which is what you expect. I've heard all the trigger words. I heard standards. I heard skills. I heard formative assessments. I heard interim assessments. I heard which we always will track A through G. All the stuff that's important, and the claim data. A lot of people don't know, and they don't do it. They don't drill down into the data, and you have to drill down into the data if you're going to continually improve, right? So now, the scores have gone up, and it made a good jump. So now it's just, how do we make incremental improvement, right? And people don't understand that. And I'm gonna go back, because having lived this, COVID was not that long ago. I don't care what anybody says, and I always throw it out there, because we were masked 5 years ago still, and that was for a long period of time. We are just starting to come out of that, and people don't understand that. Kids are starting to feel like, hey, I can do school again. So there's an opportunity here now to just continue that growth, just continue going. So with all the things that are in place, 100% it's gonna happen, 100%, and you just stay on the path, right? And I know, because that's what you do, because when we talk and when we play golf and we do stuff like that, Rod stays on the path of whatever direction we're going.
I don't know about that part.
Well, I don't mean to hit the ball necessarily, but I mean, we stay on the path, right? So now it's just staying on the path, continually to improve, and I look forward to seeing how Glendora grows in the future. And with the culture, and I will always go back to, because it's just what we do, is the name, face, story piece, right? Know every student's name, face, and story. And that comes down to the communication, climate, culture, and community. If the culture is there, culture is the base, things are gonna be great. And you can never over-communicate, right? You can never over-communicate, Joe. So I appreciate the presentation, really well done. I appreciate Glendora High School, I appreciate the staff and all the work that you put into our kids, because it makes a difference every single day. Every single day when you walk onto the campus, what you do, what you say matters. And so, and that's what makes kids feel good. And so we just have to continue to do that. So, good job, keep going.
Thank you.
Rod, in closing, I just want to say that I'm a grandpa, so I watch Paw Patrol. And what does Rocky the Recycle Pup say? Green means go. Green means go, man. All the indicators I saw were green, which is great. I just want to reiterate that I've been involved with this high school for a long time, and the Clifford kids are all Tartans. One of them was a staff member, taught there, and they keep track of what's going on, and we're so proud of that. And I'm going to work really hard. We've been working very hard for the last 4 years to help all of our staff members become the best they can be, and give them the resources, policy-wise and financial-wise and otherwise, to do what you guys do. We're going to continue to do that. My heart is still in trying to figure out how to get that field and track and all those other things that you need done before we're done with this gig. So we're still working on that. But again, green means go. I couldn't be prouder of this moment for you guys. Keep up the good work, all right? So thank you. Give yourself another round of applause.
Thank you.
And Principal Chilton will give you the rest of the night off, okay?
I'm sure
Thank
I'll
you.
have an email or two.
All right, that brings us to our public hearing tonight. We have one of those, and then we have a few discussion action items. Public hearing 6.1 is the initial joint sunshine proposal from the California School Employees Association, CSEA parenthetically, Glendora Chapter 247, and the Glendora Unified School District for 2026-2027. Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford, Dr. Osborne, and Ms. Carrillo.
All right, good evening, and joining me this evening is our CSE President, Yana Carrillo. Appreciate you being here tonight. Before you is the initial joint proposal for negotiations between CSEA and the district. CSEA and district are preparing to reopen the following articles: definitions, holidays, salary, fringe benefits, vacation, leaves of absence, transfers, hours and overtime, term, and work calendar. CSEA and the district are looking forward to working alongside one another to address articles of interest in the CBA. Additionally, the teams will work together to also address any needed revisions in the agreement due to recent legislative or education code changes.
CSEA and the district affirm their commitment to a positive, productive negotiation process that focuses on the improvement of services delivered to our students and our support for our dedicated classified staff. The teams aim to work together to reach a fair settlement in a continued atmosphere of mutual respect, trust, and cooperation.
We extend our gratitude and appreciation to all of our classified employees for their hard work and service to our students, their leadership and spirit of ongoing collaboration and problem solving that makes GUSD a special place to serve. Thank you so much for your consideration this evening.
Thank you. And that being said, I would like to open up the public comment for this item. I don't have any cards for it. I don't see anybody in the audience that wants to speak to this, but I'm going to do the right thing, which is at 7:27, like the old airplane that flies through the sky. I'm going to open up the public comment. Are there any public comments regarding this hearing? Do you see any cards on the desk or any people out there to talk?
No cards and no people are
Okay.
responding to come speak.
Thank you for that verification. So then, there are no public comments, so at 7:28, I am going to officially close the public comment. I'm gonna bring it back and ask if there's any comments from members of the Board of Education.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank
Eloquent
you.
speech. Thank you very much.
Thank
That being said, everything's closed. We will move on to the next item. We appreciate this. And we will move on to item 7.1, which is attached to this. It's the approval of the initial joint sunshine proposal for negotiations between the California School Employees Association, parenthetically CSEA, Glendora Chapter 247, and Glendora Unified School District, parenthetically GUSD, for 2026-27 as presented. Dr. Kumagai.
Yes, nothing further. They've been presented and it's publicly sunshine in regards to the articles they'd like to discuss for the coming year.
All right, I'll bring it back to the board. Is there any discussion? Do we need to have a motion to move it forward? So may I have a motion for 7.1? A motion. There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I assume there's no further discussion after that? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you very much and good luck. Okay. Item 7.2 is an approval of the real property exchange agreement with Lewis Land Developers LLC regarding 350 West Malaloa Avenue, Glendora, California, 91740, which is APM number 8640-006-901, commonly known as Whitcomb High School, the property parenthetically from now on, and declare the district-owned property exempt surplus land and adopt resolution 25-26-18 as presented. Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford, again, and I want to thank Ms. Serene Ibrahimian for her patience this evening, as she heard all the great things at Glendora High School and Glendora Unified, but she is here to discuss our recommendation to the board to approve the real property exchange agreement with Lewis Land Developers LLC for the Whitcomb High School property and declare the district-owned property exempt surplus land, and also adopt resolution number 25-26-18, which she will reference in her presentation. Serene, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dr. DeGrazia. Thank you, board members, executive cabinet, and community for having me tonight. Just a brief overview of the presentation slides, starting with the district's mission and responsibilities to education, how the project helps meet those goals, some background on the project, and some next steps if the agreement is approved tonight. District mission and responsibilities, very important slide. The district's core mission and obligation is to serve TK-12 and adult education needs in the district. This includes ensuring access to quality instruction, programs, and services for all students. The goal is to develop long-term educational quality, operational stability, and fiscal sustainability. Over the last number of years, as many districts have struggled up and down the state, the district is grappling with declining enrollment, which is a challenge, and with that and alongside that, decline in funding. Funding is largely determined by student enrollment and what's called average daily attendance, or what we'll refer to as ADA, which is how many students attend each day. The district's ADA, for the most part, remains stable, but because of the overall declining enrollment in the district, that has impacted funding. And at the current time, state funding is not sufficient to meet the instruction and academic program excellence that the district is seeking and to attract and retain staff at the levels that it would like. And in order to close the budget gap, the district has looked and explored options and opportunities for bringing additional funding to the district. So again, what's driving the district's desire is to maintain a strong academic quality despite the funding constraints. And the district is committed to that goal. For these reasons, the district began exploring long-term sustainable solutions and, again, methods by which to bring in additional funding. Academic programs are essential not only for students, but for the stability and vitality of the community. So what is the proposed solution? At least one of them, which we have been working on and proud to present tonight, is exchanging the underutilized Whitcomb High School campus, which is approximately 9.44 acres, for approximately 4 income-generating properties, which are referred to as the exchange properties, owned by Lewis Land Developers, LLC, which I'll refer to as Lewis through the rest of the presentation. So again, the exchange agreement that's under the board's consideration is for an exchange of the Whitcomb High School site for 4 income-generating properties owned by Lewis, and the agreement would be entered into with Lewis. The exchange properties are subject to existing ground leases with commercial tenants. And there you see an aerial of the Whitcomb High School site, just to give everybody a lay of the land. What is the legal authority for entering into an exchange agreement? State law expressly authorizes the proposed exchange structure that's under consideration tonight under the Education Code Statute 17536 et sec. Any exchange may be entered into upon terms agreed by the parties and without compliance with other statutory disposition requirements. So what that means is that typically where a district would have to comply with the surplus requirements in order to sell property for exchanges, it's considered to be an exception to those statutes, and the district is allowed to do that without deeming the property surplus. What it does have to do, and what's under the board's consideration tonight, is deem the property that's being exchanged exempt surplus land, and that's a requirement under the Surplus Land Act. What that requires is a showing in this case that the properties that the district is exchanging into are revenue generating properties that are going to be used for agency use. We'll talk a little more in the further slides about how the district can utilize the revenue from the properties it's exchanging into for district purposes. And importantly, when a board adopts a resolution for or approves the exchange agreement, it must be by a 2/3 vote of the board. That is the requirement to approve the exchange agreement. That requirement does not apply to deeming it exempt surplus land. That's a majority vote. Wanted to make that distinction. So what are some of the key benefits of the exchange? And again, this all goes to the overarching, what we outlined initially in the beginning of the presentation, which was how does the district meet its mission and goals, and how the project helps get them there. So looking at it from 2 perspectives or concepts, one is redevelopment of the Whitcomb High School site. And in this case, what Lewis is proposing and what they hope to be able to entitle the property for is a residential development and use, which if accomplished would attract new families to the area. At least that would be the hope and the goal. And that would in turn support increased enrollment and ADA, the concept we talked about earlier in the presentation, and strengthen long-term funding for the district projects. The second concept is the exchange provides, because the district would be exchanging into revenue-generating properties, as we've discussed, provides consistent long-term revenue from the ground leases that the properties are subject to. The funds may be used, and this is a very important component here, with the utmost flexibility at the board's direction. For programs, staffing, and facilities, it's not restricted to capital uses the way sale proceeds would be. So that's a really important distinction, and again, gives the district flexibility on use of those proceeds, and enables reinvestment in district offerings, making schools more attractive and competitive, because again, these funds can be reinvested in programs, towards teacher salaries, and again, towards facilities, if that's what the board chose to do. What are the overarching project benefits? We've talked about them already, but how this project meets that and meets the district goals. The objective is to attract new students and address declining enrollment, as we've discussed. At the same time, the district can reinvest in existing students and programs. The exchange supports long-term financial stability and sustainability, and it combines housing-driven enrollment growth with revenue-driven program investment. And as I said at the beginning of the presentation, I was going to provide a little bit of background on how we got here. So the process to date, back in 2024, the initial evaluation of underutilized district sites was conducted to assess what are some opportunities the district can pursue to bring in additional funding. In July of that year, the district entered into an exclusive negotiating agreement with Lewis. What that authorized is the district and Lewis for a period to exclusively negotiate, do due diligence, and evaluate whether it would be financially feasible and legally feasible to initiate the exchange. The proposed exchange agreement, as we've said, is now before the board for consideration, along with designating the district property exempt surplus land. If the agreement is approved tonight, there would be additional coordination required with the California Department of Housing and Community Development, which is called HCD, which would be the approving agency to determine that the district has in fact complied with the Surplus Land Act. What that requires is, if the board approves tonight's resolution, that resolution would be deposited with HCD, and they would make the determination that, in fact, the property that the district is exchanging out of, the Whitcomb High School site, is exempt surplus land and that the project is authorized to proceed. Complete diligence and transaction documentation under the agreement and with Lewis. Implement the community outreach and engagement process. The exchange agreement does have a provision or provisions that support and require Lewis to put forth a robust community engagement plan to be engaged in with the district while Lewis's project is going through the entitlement process with the city. Like with any project that a developer would engage in, because there's a consideration for developing a housing project, the city would be the approving agency for that project. And during that entitlement period, there's an opportunity for the community to continue to be part of the process of reviewing what's being proposed and the level of review that the city is engaged in. And as part of that, there will also be a community engagement aspect that the district and Lewis will be working on to get more feedback from the community. And also then, to the extent that it's needed, continue to return to the board for any additional approvals as required in order to complete the transaction. And with that, I'll turn it back to Dr. DeGrazia or the board president.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Thank you very much. I think that was very informative. I do have a question. I'll wait till the end. Any other questions?
Thank you so much, Serene, for being here and for 2 years, almost 2 years of work in a few slides. Just doesn't truly capture the amount of work that has been put into this process. So I thank you for the ability to make it so concise and understandable. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
One of your slides was missing some information.
Yeah.
And the enrollment has declined to 18% over the last 10 years.
Thank you. I noticed the highlighting.
Yeah, but I think
yeah.
it's important for the community to know that we did have that data, and that's the data, because that's one of the deciding factors for making this decision to kind of look at these opportunities and what we could do as a district to prepare for that. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification, additional information.
And I have a question which came up as I was listening to you. We use the word underutilized space at Whitcomb. Can you tell us a little bit of how we came to the decision that Whitcomb is underutilized?
Yes, I can answer that. We looked at any underutilized space across the district, and knowing the infrastructure issues that are in place currently at the site, the fact that it is not fully utilized when you look at the full picture of the site of the full campus, it's certainly not fully utilized each and every portion. And the facilities there do not match our expectations as a school district for the students, for the staff. And anything future with Whitcomb High School, I do want to clarify for Rosa sitting over there, this is nothing immediate for Whitcomb High School. And Whitcomb High School, if this proceeds to go through, will relocate, right? It will move. It will not close. And you're a senior this year, right? Junior, okay. You'll be back there. You'll be back there for sure next year. All of these things take time. All of these things take time. So I do want to reassure that and just note that when we sought out underutilized spaces, this was at the top of the list.
Right. Thank you. And of course, as a board, we have discussed this. I just think for the benefit of the community, it's important to kind of reiterate that, the fact that we did do the analysis and we have the numbers to show that it is not properly, it's underutilized, and the amount of money that it would take to get that school to the level of that our students deserve and that our district is expected to perform at. We just don't have that kind of money at this time. So that's part of the reason why that decision was made, and Whitcomb was the one that was identified as underutilized. Thank you for mentioning that Whitcomb is not closing, that it is being relocated, because that is one of the questions that I was approached about, and I do think it's important that we say that loud and clear, that all the programs at Whitcomb will be relocated, to be determined as far as where that is, but we're not shutting down Whitcomb. Okay, so that's important to know. You did mention the participation of our community in that's going to be later on when Lewis is dealing with the city, and the city will put on some kind of community outreach and community participation. So I hope our community stays engaged so that they know when that'll happen. Maybe we'll let them know when that comes.
That'll all be included in the plan that
Okay,
gets
good.
submitted. Yeah.
Okay, good. I think that's all I have. Again, I just wanted to clarify those few things, and thank you again for your presentation.
Thank you, and if something comes up, just let us know. Anything else from the rest of the board?
Just a comment. As far as the 4 income generating properties,
Yes.
I just wanted the community to know. Obviously, it's going to be trying to get it to the fair market value of what
Yes.
the land of Whitcomb is.
And I can expand on that a little bit, absolutely. So just to say the methodology and the amount of legwork that's gone into establishing fair market value for the Whitcomb site, that same level of scrutiny will be applied to the 4 exchange properties to ensure that the district is receiving as much as it possibly can for the Whitcomb site. Anything that's a difference between the value of the Whitcomb site and the value of these 4 properties, for example, will be made up and either by cash payment and in order to make the district whole.
Okay.
So that is the flexibility that's built into the exchange statutes. And importantly, the district has and will continue to robustly review the fair market value analyses and confirm that it's receiving what it should.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I just want to say in closing, thank you for that presentation. We've wanted to daylight this, and I think now it's in a package where we can daylight it. I look at this initiation as a win-win for the community, for the school district, and for our, the taxpayers in the city that actually, you know, fund the school district. I think that this is a very financially sound plan to move forward. And the thing I like the most about it is the flexibility of the funds. In other words, the funds that you get from this process aren't restricted for any certain purpose. The funds are there for the policymakers to decide where they need to go in the budget. And I think it helps solidify the future, the immediate future, and uses our resources properly. So I appreciate the presentation. I appreciate the initiation of this, and I look forward to the amalgamate of all of these things coming together into a positive thing for the community, for our staff, and our the people that work here that are on the payroll, and for our ratepayers in the city. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So that brings it back to us. If there's no further questions from the staff or from the board, I will bring it back, item 7.2 for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
There's a motion for approval of item 7.2. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this issue? That being said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, it passes unanimously. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Item 7.3 is a recommendation for the Board of Education adopting Resolution 25-26-15, ordering biennial governing board member elections. Dr. DeGrazia.
Yes, thank you. It is that time of the year to designate that the following trustee areas will be up for election in November. Trustee Area 1, and 2, and 3. Those 3 seats will be up for the election in November of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further presentation on that? All right, I'll bring it back to the board. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. Okay, any further discussion on this issue? All those in favor, aye? Any opposition? Item 7.3 passes. We'll bring it to item 7.4, revision of board policy 6146-1, high school graduation requirements as presented for first reading. Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you. Dr. Prince will reference the one-line addition to this board policy.
Yes, Board Policy 6146.1, high school graduation. AB 2927, signed in June 2024, added the requirement for a financial literacy course. So your one sentence change is to item 6, and it is health, college, and career planning, 10 units, 1 year for students graduating on or before the class of 2029. And Health Smart Start, which is college, career, financial skills for graduates of the class of 2030 and after.
Thank you. Any other presentation, Dr. DeGrazia?
None?
Nope, I'll bring it back to the board. I'm gonna ask the board for a motion to also waive the second reading, so this can get done tonight. So I'm asking for a motion not only to approve the revision of Board Policy 6146.1, but also to waive the second reading and conclude this item tonight. Is there a motion for that? Motion. There's a motion by Garcia. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I do have a quick question.
Go right ahead.
So it's gonna be now health for the first semester, and then, Smart Start for the second semester? And does that mean that CCP, the College of Career Preparedness, is gonna be done? And does, sorry, the last one, the Smart Start include college and career?
Yeah.
That same type of curriculum?
Yeah, so Smart Start is the college and career preparation as well as the financial literacy combined into one, and that starts this summer. So that'll be with our graduates, the class of 2030 and beyond. That's why we had to dual for the kids who are currently in health and CCP as they phase through. And then, of course, we'll bring this back in a few years when they have graduated and remove the first half of that sentence.
Okay, and, do we have, what curriculum are we using for this Smart Start?
So Dr. Nahara will probably want to add more, but this is actually an amalgamation. It's numerous resources that we've been developing for the financial literacy course.
Does this update what we normally had as CCP?
Yes, and Dr. Nahara, you want to elaborate more on that as you've been working with the teachers?
Yeah, it's in current development right now. We do actually have a financial literacy elective right now, and we've been piloting a few different enhancements to that. Last year, we piloted a free program from Intuit Education, in addition to some of the Dave Ramsey education that goes along with our financial literacy or personal finance elective. What we're doing is it's really a personal finance class with incorporation around college and career preparedness. So it's the focus is really personal finance, and then we're bringing in the college and the pertinent pieces of the college and career focus. So it's really centered around personal finance and financial literacy, and then bringing in the pieces of college and career prep. So it'll be formulated right now through the summer. It'll be piloted and tweaked over the summer with that first class, and then really finalized for the fall. So the main focus is personal finance and financial literacy, and then sub-focus is the college and career pieces. So it's really all financial literacy and personal finance built around college, career, and preparedness for the future. That's why it's called Smart Start.
Great. I'm happy to hear that
Mhm.
because a lot of the feedback on
Yep.
that CCP was a little outdated, so
Yep.
I'm happy to
So it's
see
im-
that it'll be more up to date and of course included in that financial literacy, which is
And plus with the CCGI, we're going to be pulling in pieces of that as well. So, and CCGI also has some pieces of financial literacy. So it'll connect the college and career planning pieces with CCGI as well.
I mean, college and career, college especially is such a huge part of personal finance. What kids are expected to sign off on these loans,
Yep.
you know, at 18. So
Mhm.
I'm glad that that's going to be a part of that, and I appreciate. Okay, that's all I had. I just wanted clarification.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll bring it back to the board. We have a motion and a second, I believe, right? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you, that passes. Thank you for that. 7.5 is a revision of Board Policy 6173, Education for Homeless Children, as presented for first reading, and I'm going to make the same amendment to that to waive the second reading and do this tonight. So that being said, Dr. DeGrazia?
Thank you, Dr. Prince and Ms. Wilson.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up our Director of Student and Family Support Services, Ms. Josie Wilson, who is also our McKinney-Vento liaison, to tell you a little bit more about this.
Good evening. So a little bit of background on this board policy that's up for consideration. In partnership with the California Department of Education, our County Office of Education reached out to our school district in relationship with our CONAP data tied to our homeless education board policy approval dates. This board policy in particular was last approved in 2016, or last updated rather, and AB 408 requires each local education agency to update every 3 years. So that in mind, we have used the CSBA sample language and updated our language to reflect that around 3 different areas primarily. Most significant change that was made is the people first language. So we went from homeless students to students experiencing homelessness. We also updated our language to indicate that our McKinney-Vento liaison will be included on our website, the contact information for the liaison. We were already doing that. Now we're just putting the policy language behind it, as well as our annual housing survey that every student is exposed to when registering for GUSD initially, as well as every year when participating in data confirmation. And that survey is designed to make sure that we are not only identifying our students experiencing homelessness, but also providing the appropriate supports for those students. And again, we were already doing that. Now our board policy language will just reflect those efforts.
Thank you for that presentation. After that, I'm going to bring it back to the board. May I have a motion and a second? There's a motion. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion or questions on this item? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that presentation. Item 7.6 is recommendation for the Board of Education to adopt Resolution 25-26-13 and recognize May 4 through May 8, 2026 as Teacher Appreciation Week and May 5, 2026 as Day of the Teacher. Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you. Glad to bring this forward, and Dr. Osborne to recognize our certificated staff.
So 7.6 and 7.7 are obviously related items, recognizing May 4th through the 8th as Teacher Appreciation Week and May 17th through the 23rd as Classified School Employee Week. These resolutions help recognize and honor all of our staff for their dedication and service to our students, and we look forward to celebrating them officially in May. Thank you.
Thank you very much for both of those items, 7.6 and 7.7. I'm going to bring it back to the board. Are there any questions about item 7.6?
No questions, but can I make a comment?
Of course.
Just as a reminder to our community that our PTA is phenomenal in celebrating these things. And so I know that at the high school, they have a staff appreciation week combining the two, and they always need volunteers and donations. And I know that all the sites find ways to celebrate. So I encourage you to please reach out to your site. And there's always a way that you can help and support this very important recognition. So sorry, shameless plug.
Thank you. Not shameless at all. I'll bring it back to the board. Any further discussion on 7.6? Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? That moves us to item 7.7, which we already had a presentation on. I just wanted to mention that this resolution has a different number, 25-26-14. Same time frame, but it is for the Classified School Employee Week, which is different than the Day of the Teacher and Teacher Appreciation Week, just as important. I'm going to bring it, but we had the presentation. I'm going to bring it back to the board. Any questions or comments from that presentation? Any further discussion? Is there a motion and a second for 7.7? Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you, that passes. We'll move on to 7.8. It is a recommendation for the Board of Education to adopt Resolution 25-26-16, which is approving assignment of delinquent tax receivables to the California Statewide Delinquent Tax Finance Authority and authorizing execution and delivery of the related documents and actions. Dr. DeGrazia?
That is a mouthful. I'm glad you announced and pronounced that rather than I. Well done. Every 3 years, we bring this forward to the board, and I'll have Ms. Walzak explain it to you.
Okay, so tonight we're bringing forward for your consideration Resolution 25-26-16, which would approve the assignment of the district's delinquent tax receivables to the California Statewide Delinquent Tax Finance Authority and authorize the execution of the related agreements. Just a little brief background, this program is authorized and under California Government Code and allows the school districts to basically sell and assign the delinquent property tax receivable to a JPA or Joint Powers Authority rather than for us waiting for those taxes to be collected over time. The authority then facilitates the financing of those receivables on behalf of the participating districts. This program has been widely utilized by school districts throughout Los Angeles County, and it aligns with our ongoing efforts to responsibly manage district resources and maximize available revenues. Therefore, tonight, the recommended action before you is to adopt Resolution 25-26-16, approving the assignment of the delinquent tax receivables for fiscal years 2026 through 2028 and authorize the staff to execute the necessary documents to implement the program.
Thank you. Can I have a so moved from someone? So moved. All right, there's a
Second.
motion. Is there a second?
Second.
That was almost like an amen. Thank you. Remember how to do that. That's very, very cool. All right, I'll bring it back to the board. Is there any further discussion on this item? Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you very much. Item 7.9 is it to approve, the AB 1200 Public Disclosure Agreement and direct staff to adjust the appropriate accounting codes and update the 2025-26 district budgets. Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford. Dr. Osborne.
So once again, 7.9 and 7.10 are related items. 7.9 is the approval of AB 1200 Public Disclosure Agreement that our County Department of Education provides us that verifies item 7.10, the tentative agreement between the district and CSA that we can afford that. Under 7.10, the tentative agreement, it includes a 1% on schedule salary increase, a 1% or $700, whichever is greater, off schedule bonus, and equivalent benefit increases to our classified staff that our certificated staff previously received. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, and the number behind that is $633,046, just so you know. So I wanted the public to be aware of what that number is that incorporates 7.9 and 7.10. I'll bring 7.9 back to the board. Is there any further, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A motion, is there a second? Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on that item? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, that passes. Now, we had that same presentation for item 7.10, so we don't need to ask for that again, but I'm gonna bring 7.10 back to the board. Is there any questions, comments, or further discussion on item 7.10? Nope, may I have a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second for item 7.10. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Item 8 brings us to the consent items. 8.1 is items 9.1 through items 12.5, which are an additional $14 million in expenditures. When you talk about the general fund, the education, the business, and the personnel services, may I have a motion for approval? There's a motion and there's a second. Is there any further discussion? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you very much. That approves all of the business for the night. That brings us to item 13.1. It looks like it is about 8:04, and we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you. See that? Item 9.2 was gifts from Athens. I should have brought that up.
Oh, yes.
I should have said gift. Well, I didn't miss it, but I just didn't. I should have pulled it and said, hey,
That was nice.
yeah, I mean, we were present.
To the Spartan Garden, to the Spartan.
We were also, I was in the high school, was talking about all the support. Tens of thousands of dollars for that high school. Are you driving or something? No. That's okay, though. Over it. Thank you, you guys, thank you. Hey, Sarah, those are the best. I understood it without even one question, because you helped them explain those two numbers the right way, right?
Yep.
Nice. All right, thank you very much. That wasn't bad, you guys have got a few hours. Thank you. Hey, you should be very proud of Mr. Tipton.